Messy in the middle with Jeannie. I am a middle-aged, middle-class, middle America girl, and I try to be very down to earth and very real about the way that I approach life and all of the things that are a part of it. I am very uncomfortable talking in front of a camera, so I'm gonna, while I talk to you, I am going to go ahead and do some sort of craft in each video. Since this is my first video, I will introduce myself a little bit and talk to you about a little bit about who I am and where I'm from and all of that, so that you can get to know me a little bit. If you have comments or you want to share any information with me, I'm happy to listen. If you want to reach out, please leave a comment or message me. I am happy to talk to a person about anything that I say. I would ask that you reserve any really negative comments or arguments, those kinds of things, for other pages. That's not what this is about. I'm really here just to be real and to tell you what my life is like, in hopes that you will have the peace of knowing that there's somebody else out there who has a life that is something like yours in some way. I desire to be relatable and comfortable, and a place that you can go to feel like I said, you're not alone. So I'm gonna refinish these mirrors, just the frames, obviously not the mirrors. My grandmother was an interior decorator forever. I don't even know how many years. And she taught us to whitewash when we were children. And so I am going to whitewash the frames of these mirrors that I found on clearance. Love a bargain. And they were 75% off. I was shopping with my sister, and she actually is the one that noticed them first, so I have to give credit where credit is due. But I am going to work on whitewashing these mirrors and just tell you a little bit about myself, okay? So I have already taped them off. I have cleaned the outsides of them just with a damp cloth, just to get any dust, anything like that off of them. They are pretty raw, so I didn't want to use any cleaner or anything like that might absorb into the wood. And they were in boxes when I got them, so I'm hoping that there's not too much in the way of oils and that sort of thing on them from being handled. But because they are raw, I didn't want to use a whole bunch of cleaner on them and have that absorb into it. So I have already mixed what I hope is thin enough, but I might have to test it out, and I might have to add some more water. So it's kind of, we'll see how it goes. And so, as I said, my grandmother was an interior decorator. I developed my love for all things fabulous from my grandmother. She really believed that anybody could have should surround themselves. Everybody should surround themselves with things that bring them joy and make them happy, and that they find beautiful and lovely. And so she was quite an inspiration to me. I need to grab some more paint because this is just a little bit too thin. You'll notice there's not really, it's just kind of making it cloudy. It's not actually whitewashing, so we're gonna do a little bit more. I'm using chalk paint, just something I got from the craft store. It's cottage white is the color. I felt like that was fitting for whitewash. That is, as I said, that's where I developed my love for all things beautiful and decorative. There we go, that's a little better. I was raised in Colorado. I was a military brat. My daddy was in the Army for almost 21 years. And my parents were divorced when I was very young. And so he was out and about around the country, and I was raised here in Colorado with my mother, and my sister, and eventually my stepfather and my stepsister. We will get into more details about all of that later. So, but my sister is one of the closest people to me in my entire life, and she is actually part of the inspiration for me starting this. She is an author and a preschool teacher, and she is doing an Instagram channel where she is talking about parenting. She is an excellent parent, and her passion is parenting and feeding the souls of young people. So really young people. She was a preschool teacher, as I said, so she is very, very passionate about enriching the lives of little ones and helping them to grow and learn. So I will attach her, if you're interested in that, if you happen to have little ones, I will, or have grandbabies. In my case, I have grandbabies. So that you might be interested in what she's writing and what she's doing, you can absolutely check in on her. I was raised in Colorado. I grew up here in very middle class life. They talk about the middle class dying, and I think in some places it might be, but I feel like in Colorado it's alive and well. I apologize if the lighting is not great. I'm not a filmmaker, nor do I know anything really about photography, so I know a little bit. I knew enough to turn on the lights behind the camera so I wouldn't be completely backlit by what's in the window, but that's all I know. And mostly that was just because when I looked at myself in the camera, I could barely see my face, which I feel like that's still the case. So anyway, I will work on that as time goes on. I promise I'll get better at this. But this being my first video, we're just gonna take it as we get it. So I am married for the second time. My second husband and I have, we grew up in the same circles, but we think we were probably in the same place at the same time a multitude of times as we were growing up, but we don't remember ever meeting each other, maybe once. And so, but when we met, you know, as adults, we connected right away. And so I wasn't looking for any kind of relationship, but he was more open to that. I had been married before. I had 4 children when we met, and he had 2 when we met. He had been married before as well, and so we blended our family and have been together ever since, and we complement each other well, and we love each other a lot. And so if you're looking for hope and you are a person who is maybe in the middle of an uncomfortable situation with your spouse and you're considering leaving and you are afraid of what might be out there, there are good things out there. I found good things, and I believe that there are good things out there. So if you can count, you know that we have 6 children together. We did not have any children with each other because we felt like 6 children was plenty. And while others might think that that's just getting started, for us that was enough to keep us busy, so we were happy with that, and we decided to stick with that. Our children are all very different. We did not raise cookie cutter kids for sure. We have 3 boys and 3 girls. Our oldest is a boy, and he is now engaged and has twin boys of his own. And we are super excited. I actually get to go see those babies a little bit later today. They just moved to town, so we will be able to get to see them a little bit later. Our second one is a girl, and she really has a unique personality and a unique perspective on the world, and we are super proud of her for owning who she is and who she wants to be. We don't get to talk to her as much as we'd like, but we love her very much, and we do hope that she's happy doing all the things that make her happy. And then we have the third in age is a girl as well. She actually moved to North Dakota and is building herself a life up there that is lovely. She has a great job and just got herself her very first apartment, so that's exciting too. She was married a couple of years ago and moved to North Dakota with her husband. So, then the middle boy is Isaac, and Isaac passed away almost 2 years ago now. He is, see, I'm a mess. That's where messy in the middle, that's where that comes from. I'm a hot mess. I'm messy with crafts, I'm messy with gardening, I'm messy with everything. And my life has been frequently messy, and I just embrace that as part of who I am. So there you go. So our son passed, like I said, almost 2 years ago. He got a brain infection right before he turned 2, and he lived to be 19 and a half, and 1 day, actually. He was so strong and so peaceful, and we miss him tremendously. He was a teacher by nature. Just him being in existence was gave people a sense of peace and a desire to slow down, and he was just a great human and so lovely to know, and I'm so proud of him and all of the things that he brought to the world. He lost his ability to speak with the brain infection, and so he was just this silent, well, not completely silent, he was vocal, so he did let you know if he was uncomfortable or there was something going on, but he was not a talker, but he was very, he said so much without any words, and just in his existence. So we're very grateful that we had the gift of him in our life, and we are grateful that we had that we got to have him as long as we did. So, and then the next youngest is a son again, and he is currently in the Navy serving our country, which I'm very proud of. I am a patriot. I served in the Marine Corps right out of high school, and unfortunately ended up getting out much earlier than I intended. I was injured in training, not even anything exciting. I was stubborn and bullheaded and got myself hurt, and ended up getting out way earlier than I anticipated. But if I hadn't, I wouldn't have had the life that I had. So everything happens the way it's supposed to in life, even if you can't see it in the moment. That's one of my big mantra, I guess you might call it. I say that a lot, that everything happens the way it's supposed to, even if you don't know why. And sometimes it's painful and ugly, and sometimes it's beautiful, and you just, it's about perspective. And I try to keep a positive perspective about things whenever I can. Not that I believe that everything in the world is positive, because that's just crazy, but I do feel like, trying to keep a positive perspective definitely in my experience, has helped the clouds clear a little bit quicker. So, anyway, so back to my children. So I have our youngest son, the fifth in the line of age of our children, is serving in the Navy and is currently stationed in Virginia. So, and then our youngest is a girl. As I said, we have 3 girls and 3 boys. So our youngest baby is a girl, and she is, again, they all have such unique personalities, and I'll get more into that as time goes on and I have more of a chance to get to know you guys. But she is in the Marine Corps. She just is in her A school right now. So we are very proud of all of our children, and especially proud of our patriots and our kiddos that have elected to serve their country and to give back, as it were. They all kind of give back in their own ways, but we definitely appreciate those little patriots of ours. They're not little, they're both pretty big. I feel kind of shrimpy when I'm around them, and I'm not shrimpy. I'm about 5'8", so I'm not a small girl, but they are, he is 6'4", and she is 5'11", so those 2 little ones are not so little. All right, so you can see I have pretty much finished up this mirror. I like the way it's looking. It is, you know, it has just this nice white wash on it, and you know, everybody does whitewash a little bit differently. This is the way, as I said, my grandmother taught me. So I am enjoying doing this kind of in her memory. She passed a while back, and so I am grateful that she taught me some of her skills. I love the way this is turning out. If you look at the other one, let me take off my glove really quick so I can turn the camera a little bit. If you look at this other one over here, you can see the difference between the two. Not painted white, definitely whitewashed, and so that's what I was going for. So maybe I will do the next one in the next video. But that is a little bit about me, and there's been a big journey and a big life that I have lived. I'm grateful for where I am, and I'm grateful for what we've accomplished together, my husband and I. And those kids are grown up and on their own and doing their own thing. And of course, that was the main goal of the last 20 some odd years. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and my apologies for it not being perfect, but I'm not perfect, and I don't apologize for that. I'm okay with who I am, and I'm okay with not being perfect, because I think sometimes perfect gets boring. So I hope that you have a really, really great day, and I will be back in touch. Take care.